Every day we wait, they get stronger.
Let's take them by surprise.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
Rogue One starts here with Andor, and we're talking about each and every episode of Disney Plus original series Ongoing Rogue. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Oh, sorry. Nobody was listening, I thought.
Wow. Okay, good. Yeah. Very good. When did you think of that? At what point during the process?
As soon as you started talking.
Okay, good. Oh, thinking on the spot. Okay, good. This week's episode is titled, as Ash just gave away, Nobody's Listening. The director of which was Toby Haynes. It was written by Beau Willimon. Synopsis was: under intense scrutiny while imprisoned, Cassian makes allies plan an impossible escape. What do you think of this week's episode, Ash?
Yeah, another good episode. Obviously, getting a little bit. It's probably a little bit boring. Like coming in and saying every episode of Andor was pretty good. So, obviously we got more of the prison elements. We learned a little about more connections that we didn't expect. What else? We get a little bit more of everything. We get more Deidre.
I'll tell you one person we don't get.
Who?
No Luth in this episode.
No Luthen, no Saw.
Oh.
Disappointed.
Thought that was interesting. I'm pretty sure he's been in every episode since the first one, surely. Luthen.
Pretty close, even a little bit. So,
if not a quick scene.
Yeah.
It was obviously a really good episode. The slow sort of build up again to obviously what's going to be I'm sure an action-packed prison escape sequence is going to be really exciting. I feel like I just like that. I'm very much enjoying this being a series and not a movie, because if you try and there's so many elements you'd just rush through if this was actually a movie. This is one of those times where being a Disney Plus show, as much as I'm like, fuck, it would be good to get a Star Wars movie again, something to watch on a big screen. Remember those, Disney? This definitely feels like it's so much suited to the longer form, because each episode we're getting all these little tidbits and building upon the characters, and it's even moments like, because we keep saying and we keep talking about how what is the moment that's going to push Cassian, but now watching this episode I'm like, maybe it's not a moment, maybe it's just all the small moments where I feel like maybe that's the point. Instead of looking for that one big moment that pushes him to finally become the rebel that we think of, I feel like it's just all these little small moments, like having to see that old dude like die.
Olaf, yeah.
And then knowing after, because I'm sort of skipping to the end because I guess it was the sort of the big part of the episode, but knowing that even if he had have survived his next 30 days, he was never getting out. That's the thing, right? They said that someone got out and they got put on another level. Yeah, but someone recognized him or something. So I guess in their, or
he told somebody, right? If you're like, hey, I'm getting out. Oh shit, you put me on another level? What the fuck is this?
True. I guess maybe they thought they could just, I don't know, control it or something like that. But yeah,
it doesn't make a lot of sense on the Empire side, really. Like,
I mean, I don't know if we don't know if they're like taking him all the way up to the top and then just like planting drugs on him or something. You know what I mean? Like, back down you go, sort of thing. Like, or is it literally they transport it? Or are they at least attempting to make it look like the prisoners deserve to be back in there? I don't know. But I really loved. So obviously at the start of the episode we get to see that Cassian. We don't know how long it's been either. Is the thing, like. It's definitely long enough that he's comfortable.
It's hard to say because obviously we got cut straight from the end of last episode with Bix.
Yeah.
So we don't know how long Andor's been in the prison. So
no, I don't feel like he's not gonna have waited around long before kicking into motion trying to find a way out. But I don't feel like it was the next day. I feel like it's at least been.
No, he's like kind of made connections with other people who of like mind.
Yeah. Like so he's found I was gonna say he's found the few people who are willing to make a move and I guess suss that out in some way, including the dude he's talking to at the start of the episode who's not actually on his table. And that seems to be the person he's planning the escape plan with the most, which was interesting. So he's found.
Well, I think it's the person doing the sign language, right?
I don't think it was.
No,
I thought it was someone else. Yeah. So I mean, I could be the same.
Might be a little bit too obvious.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so his plan at the start of the episode, I guess, is to very slowly between his toilet breaks, I guess, each shift to saw away at this or chip away at this pipe, which would do something, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what because
some sort of maintenance issue. You would assume they would be forced to come down the elevator.
Yeah, I guess.
And they're sussing out like every little thing,
So they're saying like when anything that moves, they figure out or are assuming anything that moves like the platform and elevator that isn't actually electrified, because when they get a prisoner on it, instead just if they do something wrong, they're zapping them and not actually using the floor. So that's their sign and reason for all that, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, they're trying to piece all the stuff together, but he just doesn't have all the information he needs or the numbers to do a prison escape, but he will by the end of the episode. And I really like the come around for Andy Serkis's character. Yeah. Because the thing is, we know Cassian's in after doing nothing. Well, we know the reason that Cassian was arrested was bullshit. Cassian deserves to be arrested for something else, but the reason he was
at the wrong place, wrong time. Yeah,
he was in the wrong place, wrong time. So it just got me thinking that, because you try and understand this character, this Andy Serkis character, who's the first time we meet him, and Andy Serkis is so good, by the way.
He's fantastic.
He's very fucking good. The first time you meet this character last episode, he's straight away like I'm in charge. He just seems like he's playing them. He's working for the man. He's part of the empire. But I was thinking about it more. I'm like, well, and this episode adds a lot to it where he probably thinks he's doing the right thing. As far as we know, he probably did do something wrong, has accepted he did something wrong, and assumes that anyone else coming into the prison did something wrong. And assumes the system, he's doing the system and what he thinks is right. However, by the end of the episode, little by little, he finds out details and whatever else. He starts to question and realize that he's getting completely fucked over, and so we get to see that he's not actually in love with the Empire and willing to do all that stuff. I think he was just trying to do the right thing, and he assumed that everyone else had done something wrong because he'd done something wrong, and you know what I mean? Like that's what I think his character actually was. But yeah, I mean, watching this episode, the whole time I'm just thinking, like, just in several of those scenes, I'm like, fuck. Andy Serkis is really good, hey.
Yeah, he's pretty great. It's amazing he's in Star Wars for the first time here.
It's crazy. He's really, really good. They should like cast him in a movie or something. I don't know. Should have been Oscar nominated for something by now, you'd think. Playing an ape, maybe.
Yep.
What was that? Sorry, no, what? So I really liked all the prison stuff. The interesting thing, and I didn't know this. Did you? Completely didn't talk about this last week because I didn't click onto it or anything else like that. But I'm sure you've seen all these stories. But there was actually another character, like we're talking about last week, with Saul Guerrero shows up and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, so one of the other inmates on the table with Cassian is actually a character that's in Rogue One. Character's called Ruscott Maleshi. It's played by Duncan Powell. Same actors playing him here as was in Rogue One. He's one of the people who go down to Scarif and help steal the Death Star plans and everything like that. And you see a couple other scenes with them interacting throughout the movie, and sort of implies that the two of them are close and stuff like that. So we'll say another it's interesting because we'll say another week how all the characters been placed in this and the little small cameos and stuff like that. None of them actually feel like cameos. They just feel like stuff that makes sense. And I feel like nothing I feel like nothing is a bigger example of this than random dude from Rogue One who you see Cassian interact with a few times being placed in here as a meeting place for them, but they don't make it super obvious that, to the point where in the last episode they were like, hey, a scene where they talk heaps, and as an audience member you're like, is this a character I'm supposed to know? Like you never do that because they don't really interact. They just have a normal level of interaction, which is barely any. And it took for the internet to start like pointing out. I never realized. I see these articles going up like, hey, that dude's actually from Rogue One. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. It's just subtle like connection between characters, and like placing these breadcrumbs of what will become Cassian's crew, I guess, and not doing it in a highly like, hey, I'm a cameo, you know, it's just like, la-di-da, it's just like, he's there. Right, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Did you see this already or no, you hadn't seen this?
No, I hadn't seen this, so, that's cool.
So, spoilers, that dude's making it out.
That guy's going to live.
That guy's going to live. Andy Serkis's character, I don't know, but this dude, definitely making it out. What else do we have happening this episode? So, of course, some of the things we had happening were Mon Mothma. Now, I don't know. Had this been revealed that her cousin was...
No, I think that was revealed here.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a surprise good kid. Because I'm watching it going, this is a surprise, right? Like, I wasn't supposed to have known this, was I? Yeah, what the fuck's her name? I can't remember her name now. Vel. Yeah, what do you think of that connection between two of them and their interactions?
Very surprising. But, I guess... Interesting.
Makes sense.
Does it?
I feel like
I don't think it makes sense, but it works.
I don't know. Like, I feel like at this stage they're talking about this close knit. Mon Mothma is the one who's talking about like trying to keep everything on the down low, not bringing more people in. So like her having like it being a family member when she's the one trying to keep it the sort of a close knit group of rebels or whatever, that sort of makes sense that it would be someone in the family. I really love that scene at the dinner party there where her husband's like, oh, you got to get married, there'll be no one left at your age and all this stuff, and every smart ass remark she came back, you could just see Mon Mothma in the background like smirking at her and all this. I thought that was really cool.
It was nice to see Mon Mothma with someone on her side. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
we're so used to seeing her in her house just miserable, so she then, the other thing that's gonna assume cross over to next week's episode is so she's trying to work out how to cover up her tracks with this money laundering, whatever. I don't know, or whatever she's got going on there. And she's old mate who her husband implies she's having an affair with. I don't know. Doesn't seem to really care, but I don't think he even really cares, to be honest. But he says you need to get like 400,000 credits put back into the account before they're scanned or whatever. I guess it sounds like they scan people's bank accounts like it's a, like yearly, you do your taxes yearly. It sounds like maybe that sort of...
Maybe not money laundering, more like tax fraud.
Yeah, tax fraud or evasion or something like that, So they're saying about like your money being scanned or your credits being your bank scanned. It sounds to me like a tax thing, like we would have tax. Like you just do your taxes every year. They've got a scan coming up or something. So she needs to get this money in there.
That, and also they're like, oh, where did this 400,000 credits suddenly go? What did you spend it on?
Yeah, and they have weird. Yeah. So she needs to get a $400,000 credit loan from somewhere, of which old mate offers up an apparent criminal underworld solution for, which I assume we're going to meet with next week and see how that goes. I mean, she's going to agree to do it. I feel like there's no way. It's going to be her first step into to working with more seedier characters, I feel. And I guess, because I feel like Mon Mothma's arc in this season is less, like, you're watching Cassian, and I feel like anyone watching the show is like, all right, the arc of his show is Cassian becoming someone who doesn't care about the rebellion does care about the rebellion. Mon Mothma's is a little bit more trickier, because it's, again, a character that's barely even in the movies. But from the outset, I think her arc is just supposed to be how she goes from wanting to, like saying to, fuck, I'm forgetting every character's name. Saying to, what the fuck is Peter? What's his folks? Luthen. Saying to Luthen, like, we got to keep the, small knit type group. Don't bring in random people. She doesn't want to do this. I think she needs to at some stage realize that to get the rebellion working, to get it done, gonna have to start making some moves. Gonna have to work with some unsavory characters. Like gonna have to cross some lines, these sorts of things. I feel like that maybe that's going to be her sort of arc, and that's going to be part of it. And then we have over on the side of weird, you've got old mate Cyril and Dedra.
Cyril being a creepy stalker.
Yeah, Cyril creeping out, stalking Dedra as she attempts to go to work. That was a very weird scene, but You know, he's literally like, I come here sometimes to watch because I know it's where you work. You and I, we belong together. When I'm in your presence, it just makes me want to live again. I was like, Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah. So what'd you make of all the cereal and the Dedra stuff, I guess?
It's really weird, but I think it's setting up, Cyril to be called upon some point down the line, even though she's like kind of freaked out by him a little bit. Yeah. He's very weird and like very stalkery and like weird. And he's lying to his mom as well, about
stay out of my private box.
Yeah, but I guess he did technically get a promotion. So,
my most creepy thing in this whole episode is that 5-6 seconds where he's just slurping down that blue milk, very loud. Like, I was like, "Fucking hell, dude, chill out." I like how after he says he's getting a job too, his mum's big pat on the back as she pours him off a bowl of cereal. Good job, dear. Here, have some more Fruit Loops. So that was good. Meanwhile, Dedra is off torturing Bix, which is, I like the way that is. I love this whole backstory towards the torture device. I thought that was really interesting, and I like the way they shot it and done it too, where they don't even dare play the sound to the audience. It's
silence. Like I love the way they've removed sound, except for
you see her
Bix's reaction. Yeah.
I like the way they put that all together. But yeah, that just old mate, the doctor or whatever, just telling that story of, these people, they wouldn't agree to the planet. They wouldn't agree to let us like start mining their planet. It's like, yeah, of course they fucking wouldn't because it's their planet. And it's like, so the Empire did what they had to do. In other words, they fucking killed them all.
We need to make sure it was recorded and witnessed,
for the purpose
for shits
of
and giggles.
Yeah, I know, to show the Emperor, I'm sure, or some bullshit. But, we discovered there was these screams and the people would go crazy listening to them. But we've found the best ones. We've found the ones where the kids are dying. So we're going to play you them.
Dick cuts.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is really messed up. But
it's the best of.
Yeah. It's messed up, but also cool. Like, as a background. Like, I'm coming into this thinking, let's just see the stupid torture robot thing come out that we've all seen in Star Wars and all that sort of shit before. But then when he just swings around, he's like, "Nah, mate, I got a pair of headphones." I was like, "All right, you're going old school."
Yeah,
old school's the new school.
No AirPods in the Star Wars universe.
No.
Massive headsets.
Massive set of Beau's headphones. That's it. I thought that was really, really cool. And just her. She's holding on, but at the same time, like, she doesn't really know anything. That's why I feel bad for her,
Yeah.
What's she going to say? Last time I spoke to him was like a month ago. I don't know where he went. At the end of the day, I don't know what she's getting out of him. Or I don't know what Dedra's could even get out of Bix. That would help her get Cassian. I don't think there's anything.
Well, I mean, she found out about Cassian's mom, and I suspect that's clearly going to be... There's no way that he doesn't go visit her as soon as he breaks out of prison, Even though she's completely surrounded by rebels and Empire.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to Andor. Yeah.
Cassian is watching his mum die at the end of this show.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a given, surely.
He's going to go through the sewer thing that she broke her back trying to burn up.
Yeah, maybe. Thanks, Mum. You did it. Anything else from this episode missed or shout out?
No, I think we covered most of it. It was just very sad.
Pretty straightforward. Like,
I think it was interesting that the medic was clearly a prisoner as well. Like, and he's like, fuck, I can't save anybody. It's like really he's pretty much like a vet, like putting people down. It seems like very messed up. So. Yeah, that final shot, of Andor going how many guards are there per level and Andy Serkis finally answering him.
After telling him before to get those thoughts out of your head and never think about that and whatever else. I just love it. Yeah, he says it and just the way Andy Serkis doesn't, like, without skipping a beat, he's like 11 per level or, like whatever
12 per.
He's like, he's on board. He's
never
on
more
board
than 12. That's it.
Yeah, never more than 12. So it's like, I thought that was a really great way to see it fade out on that credit sort of thing. Yeah. All right. That'll do it for this week's episode of Rogue One, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe to Holocron Entries, of course. The Star Wars podcast that you're listening to includes other shows like The Mandalorians, The Very Bad Batch, and other things that are on the feed. Follow our Twitters by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter and join our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. If you liked this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support to donate as little as $1 to help out the show. And until next week, keep on rebelling.